In today's video, my friend and I are stranded on an island filled with zombies. We have to survive 100 days, and we have 3 objectives. First, build a fortified compound base armored with automatic turrets and traps that will stop the zombies from breaking in. Second, go out into the sea and find new islands. Defeat anyone there and collect epic treasure loot to help us survive. And third, become self-sufficient by colonizing most of the island and getting enough space to grow crops and trees to help us survive and build. Will we make it? Will we survive? Tune in to find out. As we spawned in, we found ourselves in the middle of the ocean. With nothing to our names, I started breaking down some trees to get us the first tools to survive. But the trees were too thick to break with my hands, so I had to break it off starting from its branches. And once I had enough, I made a crafting table and made the first wooden tools. A pickaxe and a sword. I then quickly collected some stone and made us a set of stone tools. And then I collected more wood for our future base. There were a little bit of zombies walking around, but since it's only day 1, they aren't as difficult and fast yet. Later on though, they will become really deadly. And running around, we also saw a few crabs on the shore. This island is pretty small, but it still has its own ecosystem. We killed the crabs for quick and easy food. Get some more wood, and then we find the perfect spot for a base. The plan is to eventually make the whole island a shelter from the zombies, with big walls and turrets on top, but currently what we managed to get is a little house surrounded by a fence. As it's nearly done, I craft a door and then jump over to the base. It's already dark, so we decide to craft a furnace and burn some wood there to get us charcoal and torches. There are a lot of zombies surrounding the base since they're attracted to the light the furnace makes. And that's how we end day 1 on this zombie island. And as the new day hits, we decide to go down and explore the island, finding a cave opening that leads underground. We quickly find coal and I mine it to craft some torches. We also find copper and iron. Right now we want to get at least some type of armor to protect us against the zombies as they get stronger. There's also these cave road things on the walls which you can eat. They're gonna be useful as we don't have a farm or anything yet, but as I continue mining more iron, we set up a furnace station to cook everything we found, but then mining redstone I fall through a cave opening. Thankfully there aren't any zombies around, but the cave seems massive and I already see a ton of ores everywhere. I collect some ores, see a flying bat and also get some more cave road that's growing on the walls. And then we decide to head back and craft us some better armor and tools. But as we head out, there's a horde of zombies waiting for us outside. I have to fight them off and run back to the base. It seems their numbers are increasing. Good thing we got the mining trip out of the way. I craft a chest to put everything I don't need inside and then set up another furnace so we could smelt more ore at once. That's how we end day 2. Day 3 and the little wolf comes along to our house. I feed him some raw crab meat and then craft my friend and I some iron armor. And now we're a lot more ready to survive the endless zombie hordes on this island. I drop my friend the gold redstone and iron we collected from the cave and head off to gather some more trees while my friend is crafting our first turret for us. I don't know how to craft them as there's a lot of different items you need, so I left it with him. And as it was getting pretty late again, I went back and he gave me all the items I need. We picked out a good block and placed the turret. Unfortunately, it didn't have any ammo yet, so it couldn't fire, but it was still awesome that we got the first turret down. The plan was to have a giant wall surround the compound and have multiple turrets on top. But as it got really late, we decided to end the day and wait out the night in the shelter. And on the next day, our plan was to expand the compound area by placing more fences and securing a bigger perimeter around the base. Previously, I used to get hit by zombies while running inside the compound, as it was 1 block long, so the zombies easily reached me, but that wouldn't be a problem now. And we spent the rest of the day just clearing out the zombies that gathered around. It was easy XP, and we also didn't want to have too many of them surrounding our base. And on the new day, I crafted 2 paddle boats and we decided to go exploring to see if there was anything close to our stranded little island. And it didn't take long for us to find an underwater temple. We made a couple of doors and went down to fight the Guardian. The whole temple was like a maze and it was hard to get around it. We killed a number of the little guys, and I also forgot that we could use torches to breathe instead of doors, so this was a lot easier. And then I find the Elder Guardian. We fight it off and I block his attacks by hiding behind a pillar close by. When he dies, he drops a wet sponge. This is really useful as there's a pond in front of our base and we got some plans to build something else there. As we swim up, it's already sundown. We get back on the boats and swim back to base. We get there at night and wait it over inside the base. On the next day, I put all the junk inside the chest and start building the Great Wall. Our goal is to secure this side of the island by blocking off the zombies using this giant wall that will also have mounted turrets on top. I leveled the ground inside the bigger compound. As soon as we're done with the wall, we will have to fortify the base even more. But right now it's already nighttime and we are finishing off the wall by planting the final turrets on top. We head to sleep and on the next day decide to get back on our paddle boats and swim to find some new land. And after some time we find a brand new island. This one's smaller than the one we're surviving on, but maybe this island will have sheep on it. We're in desperate need of wool right now as we still don't have any beds and there aren't any sheep on our island. And fighting off a zombie, I come across a chest covered in sand. When I open it, there's a note inside that reads, "If we take the treasure, Captain Blackbeard will haunt us." But we can't say no to such treasure, diamonds and gold. So we decide to take it and leave. But as nighttime hits, we think of breaking camp on this island by climbing up on a tree. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I hear a sheep. I quickly jump down and look around. We find a bunch of them and finally get some wool. I get back up on the tree and give my wool to my friend. He crafts us both 2 beds and we can finally sleep for the first time. And as dawn hits, we pack up our stuff and get back on the paddle boats. We decided to go back to the island as this expedition was a major success. Not only did we get diamonds, but we also got beds. And I start placing down dirt blocks as right now we want to create a little farm, but this one isn't gonna be for wheat yet as we don't have enough seeds. We're planning to grow some trees here so that as we're building more and more stuff we don't wipe out the trees on this island entirely. The forest provides us with a bit of protection after all. I store all the good stuff we found in the chest and then decide to finish off the wall a bit by making more space for us to walk on top of it, and then also making a big gate which we can use to have easy access in and out from the compound. I placed 2 layers of doors so that if zombies start attacking, we have enough time to defend it, and then start digging down to get more stone as we're running out. We decide to place the beds outside as the compound is now a safe place, and there's also not enough space inside the house for 2 beds. And that's where our new objective comes in. I start placing down a layout of the new base with the cobblestone I mined earlier. And then start destroying our old home to build a much bigger and better one. As I finish off the roof, we now have a fortified keep that's massive and also 2 stories high. I come down and replace the floor with some planks. And then destroy a bit of the wall as I want some windows here for sunlight. I place some sand in the furnace and let it cook. Place the final 2 doors for the entrance, and then my friend shows me a pretty cool escape route he made in case the base ever gets overrun by zombies and we have to get out. But now I get some iron and craft a few buckets. Our plan is to make an XP farm so that we could farm the zombies and enchant our gear to give us more protection. We find a good spot on the beach on the other side of the island. But while building, we get overrun by the zombies so quickly. It's really difficult building with so many of them. But once we get the XP farm done, the more zombies it catches, the better. I start digging a tunnel and then fill it with my water buckets so that the zombies could be swept away right into our trap. I then place torches on the entrance to attract the zombies with the light. And then as we're finished with the farm, I sit around and wait until nighttime falls and there's more of them running around. And as nighttime finally hits, I quickly get in and test if it's working. And yep, it's insanely good. The zombies are flowing in endlessly, and I'm easily able to farm them. Although I had to do a bit of tweaks, in the end it worked flawlessly, and we got a lot of XP from the farm over the night. And as daytime hits, we finish off any zombies left and then make a break back to our base. I used the diamonds we got from the other island and craft me and my friend some protection, as well as some tools. As right now we need to go back into that dark and dangerous cave to get more obsidian for the enchanting table. And inside I get greeted by a bunch of zombies. We also spent some time exploring the endless cave system until we find a bit of lava. I use my water bucket and turn it into obsidian, which we then mine. And upon getting back to the base, I craft the enchanting table. My friend crafts some bookshelves with the sugar canes he found on the other island. And that's how we finally get our enchanting station complete. And as we're done, we are now fully equipped to survive any hordes of zombies the island decides to throw at us. And on the next day, we decide to upgrade the base by building a giant tower on each side of the base. This way we'll have more storage room in the base as well as have a better vantage point up top to scout out if there is any danger. It takes a ton of stone to complete it, and I also nearly fell to my death while building it, but luckily surviving, we get the first tower done. And I make myself an iron axe to go and chop the trees from our tree farm. I plant some new ones to grow even more, and then head over to help and finish the second tower. I then see a head of a sheep sticking out of the wall and go outside to kill it. There's also a bunch of zombies waiting outside, but killing them I decide to end the day here. And on the next one, I start expanding the ground beside the tree farm to go down to the water level, because now it's time to build a wheat farm. Luckily, we're in the middle of the ocean, stranded on an island, so watering the garden isn't a problem. A zombie decides to visit us while we're building, so I think of expanding the wall to cover this side of the island a bit longer and keep them away. And planting the seeds, we're finally making the first steps in self-sustainability. Animals are really rare on this island, so having an infinite source of food is really good, especially in a zombie apocalypse. And as I go outside the compound to see how it looks, it's simply amazing. This looks like a really fortified base. And imagine when we have more turrets up and running. This will be the best place to survive a zombie apocalypse. But never mind that, I now decide to start building a dock for our little ships. Since we're on an island and we have to travel by the ocean a lot, having a place to park the boats and also fish is going to be really handy. While my friend places down the underwater pillars to hold the pier in place, I work on making it longer. It's nothing fancy, but just a parking spot for a bunch of our paddle boats. And then I craft a fishing rod. After such work you need to have a nice and quiet break. Fishing also helps us forget that we're stranded on an island filled with zombies. And as nighttime hits, we decide to go back to the base, climb up the towers and place turrets on top. It'll be awesome when a bunch of zombies comes too close and these things start blasting from such height. And placing them also gives us more protection and makes us feel safer. So yeah, you can't have too many turrets in a situation like this. We head to sleep, and on the next day I start off expanding the wheat farm. Our food supply isn't that great as it turns out, and the wheat farm we made previously isn't big enough for us to have enough food. So yeah, expanding it is the only solution. And I guess we could make it endless as we're surrounded by water, but for that we'll need seeds, so it'll have to wait. And as I'm done planting them, my friend gives me an idea that we should make a chest room. Our chests right now are a mess, and you can't really find anything that easily. So we make a floor and start stacking chests on the walls on it. Each chest will have specific type of block in it, and it'll save us a lot of time in the future for when we need something. We start stacking all of our stuff into the new storage room, and once that's done, it's already night time. The job was a bit tedious, but it had to be done. But for today, we're going to be doing the biggest project yet. I collect all the cobblestone from the chest, and we head out on our paddle boats to the second island. As we hit land, we start placing cobblestone blocks to build a massive and endless bridge across the two islands. The bridge will be like a highway for us to easily gain access to this new land, and we're also planning to build a few new buildings on this land, so having the bridge be connected right into your fortified compound is going to be really useful. As we're building, it's also important not to drop down into the water, as then you'll have to swim all the way back to get on, and the bridge seems to be endless. It's really long, but I think it's worth it if it means we get to have a whole other island for us to use. I then fall into the water, but luckily I'm already close to the other side. I get back up and help finish off the bridge. And then I start building an entrance into our base. This bridge will start right from inside the base, and this way it'll be safe from any zombies that think of getting across it right into our compound. And we'll also be able to block the entrance of the bridge into the base whenever we want to. As this side is done, we decide to head back to the other island and collect our boats. And as we get there, my friend places 2 doors to block the bridge from the zombies. We then get on and travel back, parking the boats in our new port. And then we clear the entrance to the bridge and head outside the walls to finally put the final defense against the zombies down. I'm digging a hole around the walls which we will fill with lava. This way, if any zombies come close to the base, not only will they be stopped by the giant barricade shot from the turrets, but they'll also have to somehow cross the lava that we built around the base. This is also where the sponge we got earlier comes in. This pond is in the way, and to get rid of it, I have to go and get the wet sponge, cook it in the furnace to make it dry, and then use it to clear the leftover water from where our lava will be placed. And as we use up the few buckets we had left of lava from that previous expedition for some obsidian, we now have to go back to the cave and get more buckets. But luckily that doesn't take long and we start pouring the lava into the hole. This is a dangerous job and I make sure not to fall in. A simple zombie coming up from behind and pushing me in will be the end of this playthrough. So while placing down the lava, I always have a look behind me so that no zombies could creep up. And once it's done, we see that it's working perfectly. The zombies are all just falling into the pit. I also place my final bucket and that's the final and ultimate defense for this compound finished. But not before I accidentally fall into the pit myself and have to race against time to swim into the water close by. I'm so lucky I fell in right at the edge, or otherwise this would have been the end. But as we wake up the next day, I go on with my business as usual and decide to enchant my iron axe so that I could cut the trees faster. But then out of nowhere my friend tells me to look outside the walls. And what I see shocks me. There are endless amounts of zombies coming in. The compound is practically surrounded. We guessed that they all came in over the night since the zombies are attracted to light. And the lava pit we made must have produced so much light that they came from everywhere. I decide to jump off and fight them all, as this is what we were preparing for with our diamond armor and also protection enchants. This was an unexpected attack and the base had to hold out. But as there were so many of them, I had to flee back to base and get my shield, which I forgot from the storage room. But going outside again, I saw that the compound was overrun. They pushed me back into the house and I couldn't hold them off. We had to back off to the second floor while keeping them at bay. The staircase helped us as only so many of them could fit there in at once. But once that got overrun as well, we climbed up to the roof and then back down from another side. This was the Duke of a century, as the zombies had all collected on the other side of the room, leaving the staircase to the first floor open. We got down and opened up the safety hatch we built before. This allowed us to escape the compound that was overrun, but even then they still came from every side. We had to get on the bridge and fight them off. Unfortunately, there were so many of them that we had to flee to the second island. The base was just too much overrun for us to do anything. We had to somehow make them leave. And getting closer to the island, I fight off as many as I can and then start placing blocks to block them off from stepping foot here. But they overrun me really quickly and we have to get on our paddle boats and get back to the main island. This time we have an idea. Since a lot of the zombies came running after us to the second island, we can get back to the first island faster than them and then block off the bridge so they couldn't get back. But as we got on the bridge and started breaking it for them to stop coming in, we were too late. The zombies already got back to the other side of the island so they could just jump off in the water and swim back to attack us. We climbed back to the roof of the compound base and blocked off the entrance as our final move. We were now stranded on top without any plans on how to survive. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We need your help and ideas in the comments down below on what we should do next to survive. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in part 2.